Today we're going to take a look at a few more problems. So what I want you to do is in your notebook here, our day 2 goal, so this is the second day of this chapter, is to write linear inequalities from word problems. So the first one we're going to take a look at, a carpenter makes 2 bookcases, in two sizes, a large and a small. It takes 4 hours to make the large bookcase and 2 hours to make the small one. The profit on a large bookcase is $35 and on a small bookcase is $20. The carpenter can spend 32 hours per week making bookcases and must make at least 2 large and at least 4 small each week. So what can vary here? Well, it's the size. So we can have a large, that's our variables, is how many large, and I might call that an L, and how many small we can make. So it takes 4 hours to make a large and 2 hours to make a small. So our total time spent would be 4 plus the large plus 2 plus the small. And then we have a profit, so this one is time, profit. Well, our profit is 35 for a large plus 20 for a small. The carpenter can only spend 32 hours per week, so our time has to be less than or equal to 32. He must make at least 2 large, so our large has to be greater than or equal to 2, and at least 4 smalls, so our smalls has to be greater than or equal to 4. And those would be our equations. So we're going to take a look at a couple of these. The next one has to do with vans. A small town is trying to establish a transportation system of large and small vans. So once again, we can make our large or we can have small. Now what do we have here? We can spend no more than $100,000 purchasing. So we have a constraint is purchasing. And no more than $500 for maintenance. Okay. The town can purchase a small van for $10,000 and maintain it for $100. The large van costs $20,000, can maintain for $75. Okay. So let's see. So for purchasing, we can only spend $100,000. So small is here. In a large, so we could say 10,000 small plus 20,000 large. Well, that has to be less than or equal to 100,000. And then we have maintenance. Maintenance, it has to be less than 500. And how much does it cost to maintain? Well, it's let's see, 100 for the small. And how much for the large? 75 for the large. And then we have this, each one carries a maximum passengers. So our passengers, we just know that there's 15 for each large and 7 for each small. So this next one here, a ski company makes 2 types of skis, has a fabrication and finishing department. Downhill skis. So I'm going to use a D. And then so we said there's fabricating. And then we have finishing. And then we have downhill and cross country. So fabricating has 108 hours of labor. So that has to be less than 108. And the finishing has 24, so that has to be less than 24. And then there's a profit that they make. So let's see fabricating. Downhill is 6 hours. Cross country is 4. So 6D plus 4C. And then we have finishing, so an hour for each of them. So 1D plus 1C. And then our profit here, 40 for D's plus 30 for cross-country. So the third one here, an office manager has file cabinets and wants to maximize storage space. The office has floor space. So there's the space. What else do we have? We have a budget. And then let's see, so space, we also have capacity. And it looks like we just have cabinet A and cabinet B. So cabinet A is 3 squares of space. Cabinet B is 6 of space. And we only have 60 square feet. So then we have our budget. Our budget, it has to be less than 600. And 75 for A and 75 for B. In capacity, 12 for A and 18 for B. And we just want to maximize that capacity. So the last one, we're stenciling wooden boxes to sell at the fair. So we have a small box and we have a large box. So stenciling takes 2 hours. So we're talking about stenciling, and then we also have profit. So stenciling takes 2 hours for the small box, 3 hours for the large box, and you have no more than 30 hours available. And let's see, profit is 10 for a small box, 20 for a large. And we want to sell at least 12 boxes. So that just means our small plus our large has to be greater than or equal to 12.